Right, let's start off with the Marcus Smart situation. And Coach Marv asked, what are your thoughts and takeaways from the Marcus Smart pushing incident?
So I have a lot of things to say about the Marcus Smart incident. I'm going to try and jump through it quickly so I can get your thoughts, because I'm really interested, and I can't believe I didn't even text you to find out about this. So I'm actually hearing your thoughts right now. We could be way off on each other's landscapes right here. First things first, that I absolutely love Marcus Smart. In the lead up to last year's draft, I said the two guys I love are Ben McLemore and Marcus Smart. Marcus decided to return to school in what looks like a pretty bad decision. And I know he's actually acted immature at times this year with the kicking of the chair, shouting off about his coach in a post-game press conference. So I understand there's some maturity issues there. But for me, this thing has been blown crazy out of proportion and has been placed blame on a young guy, which is really unfortunate. He's been castigated like he clocked the guy. Like he just went after the man for no reason at all. Marcus was turning his back, returning to the court, and the gentleman in question, who's like a 50-year-old man, I don't know how old he is, there's been reports, but just looking at him, he looked about 50 is what I'm saying. He's a grown man, he's sat with his wife, he's a booster, season ticket holder, on the sidelines behind the court of a high-profile collegiate basketball game at Texas Tech. And he clearly said something. Now, the rumours have said that he used the N-word and all this stuff. I don't want to hear any of the rumours. I want someone to come out and tell me what he said. I want Marcus to say on record what he thinks he said. I want the guy to confirm or deny it. I want people around them, if they heard that word used, to come forward and man up and say, yeah, he said that, it was wrong. Because, okay, this is the issue that I have. He's being treated now like he's done something really bad. Now, I don't condone, Steven, anyone going into a crowd at any game, taking the law into their own hands, getting hot-headed or anything, especially when they're not... when they're young kids like this who are fighting for a professional career. But I really disagree with a man who I love and respect in Jay Billis. Now, he's the man who, of all the big media companies, the only one who actually fights for collegiate rights, because the other ones are scared of stepping out of line because the companies make too much money. He hammers home the thought that the players should get paid, and he said college players should be held to a higher standard than professional players for this sort of stuff, and I just find that bogus. He isn't getting paid. He's a young guy who's going to make mistakes. He's 20 years old? I think he just turned this year, so he's 20 years of age. He's just a young guy playing high-profile college basketball. He's looking at ESPN.com every Monday, seeing him fall down the freshman tracker, seeing Jabari Parker and these guys fly up. This random boy from Australia playing his position called Dante Exum has become the sexy pick. He sees all that happening in front of his eyes. He can't get his team to play well. The frustration is growing. He's kicking chairs. And some guy said something to him, clearly said something to him, because he's walking back onto the court. He snapped and he pushed him and then walked away. He didn't cock his arm. He didn't throw a punch. He was clearly irate and angry, but the guy said something to him. And a lot of people have said, I want to hear what he said, what the man said to him, but I still don't condone the actions. And again, I don't condone the action, but we have to find out what was said before we totally go off on this guy, because he didn't do it without any provocation. He didn't go into the stands because the crowd were chanting something. He just picked some guy out and pushed him. He was in the crowd. Two people in the crowd actually helped him up, which is how you should. That's how if you're involved with the game like that, because you're that close and you're fortunate enough to have that good of seats, you're involved in the game. Charles Barkley says it all the time. You're involved in the game. Spike Lee and the Reggie Miller incident. He was involved in the game. He got Reggie Miller to go hot in the playoffs. That's the sort of impact you can have. The guy became involved in the game, clearly said something to Marcus Smart. He turns around and he pushes him. I don't like it. The coaches should have pulled him from the game and took him to the locker room afterwards. I guess that's a different sort of incident and thing. But I think that Marcus Smart has been dealt a pretty rough hand here from national media outlets and national media writers, getting on their high horse for a young guy not getting paid, under crazy scrutiny because of them and their TV and, internet networks. And he's just boiled over the edge and pushed the guy who should be knowing to do better than acting like that childish manner at like 50 years of age at a basketball game.
No, I mean, I'm pretty much on the same lines as you, to be completely honest with you. I mean, the things that kind of irk me about this particular scenario is, one, how people have jumped to all kinds of conclusions and just jumped all over this young guy for a start. That does bother me. We don't know the full incident of exactly what has taken place. All we know is the fact that this guy has gone and pushed another guy. I mean, when I first heard the story breaking, I mean, it's not that it's not serious. It's just that I don't want to start getting involved in the issue without knowing all the circumstances, exactly what the guy said. I mean, it wasn't until much later on that the rumour was that a racist slur had been used. That wasn't said straight away, for a start. There's also rumours flying around that there's been another incident involving this guy, Jeff Orr, before as well. So, you know, there's a bit of history there. And then, of course, it doesn't help the fact that Marcus Smart has had, you know, some of these issues where he's, you know, kicked a chair, you know, a bit of childish behaviour. So they're kind of like pushing all those incidences into a pot, and then going, okay, well, that's what's caused the whole situation, and we're going to blame him because he's the one that should, you know, not do these things on a court. And that's right, he shouldn't be doing these things. But the thing is, I always come back to is, if you're provoked, you know, the emotions are running high, you don't know what you would do. And I'm exactly the same as you. Is I'm not condoning what Marcus Smart did, but in some respects, I can understand why he did it.
Yeah, I don't blame him at all.
And, you know, no, and this is it. I'm not going to sit here and defend him, but I can understand the reason why he did it. I mean, there are some things that you can say to people that will send them from 0 to 100 on boiling point.
Waking up to ash and dust, I wipe